Hi everyone, it's Andy and Joel on the Stay Hungry podcast. Today we're talking about looking after your leads. Andy, we meet again.
We do, and it's a quick one, I believe, as the actress said to the bishop. But which is handy, because what does money love, Joel?
Well, speed, but I can't get over how many cliches you say on every podcast that age you.
Well, yeah, I could talk cliches till the cows come home.
As the actress said to the bishop.
She died only last year or a couple of years ago. Like this actress who no one's ever heard of, like born in bloody 1910 or something. And it was her that had this friendship with the bishop, and that's where this line came from. Cause people
really?
Yeah, were they or weren't they? And it was, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I just assumed it's a bit of a line out of like Carry On or On the Buses or that kind of thing.
Genuine true thing.
Because like those kind of cliches were obviously in the Carry On films, and On the Buses was full of
On the buses, bloody hell.
yeah.
So this is why we can't.
But you're not that old.
Quick. We've already spent 5 minutes talking about.
Yeah,
Right, money loves speed.
Cards on the table though. The last podcast, we just talked about websites the whole time, and I was disappointed.
Oh, right.
But yeah, money does love speed.
No, we did veer off topic at one point.
You talked about Steven Seagal for a bit.
Yes.
That was even more disappointing.
I thought that was going to go places, but it didn't.
No, I prefer Steven Seagal.
What did I say?
No, you said the right thing. I prefer Steven Seagal, who's like a parody Seagal of Steven Seagal.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
is this what
is the world I live in?
Call a meme?
This is the world I live in, yeah.
Right, we've now only got 15 minutes to talk about looking after your leads. So, lead generation, amazing, but not if you don't speak to them.
Yeah, so this is born out of, you'll be shocked to hear that Codebreak don't sell magic pills. So
I've done that for years.
We can help people get a lot of leads. We can help people re-engage their leads. We can help people turn leads into sales. What we can't do is make a lead be a sale. And by that, I mean, not every lead is a sale. As a business, it's important you understand cost per acquisition. So cost per acquisition is how much it costs you to get one sale. And then cost per lead is how much it costs you to get a lead, and you need to know how many leads you need to get an acquisition. And funnily enough, I do a workshop on this, on budgeting and exactly how to do it. It really frustrates me that people think every lead should be a sale. It'd be like saying that everyone that comes into my shop should buy from me. Well, if they come into your shop and you haven't got what they want, they're not going to buy.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Yeah, if your ads are shit at targeting, yes, a massive percentage of your leads won't be suitable. But no matter how good your targeting is, I mean, I've got to be honest, we know a lot of other agencies work. I'd say we're up there at the top in terms of how to target people properly.
Yeah.
Does that mean 100% of the leads we generate are going to be buyers? No, of course not. A good percentage will be, but not everyone. And like you say, you get a lead in and it's cost £5. Will that lead become a customer today, tomorrow? They might never be a customer. They might unsubscribe, but they could be a customer in a month.
Yeah.
And that's why knowing the lifetime acquisition of a customer, how much they're going to spend, all this kind of stuff is important. But having a load of leads there, having a massive database and not talking to it is
ludicrous.
It's the biggest offence in marketing, is that the easiest gold is the gold you're already fucking sitting on. So forget going after all these new shiny customers at the top. If you've got a database of people who have put their hands up at some point and say, I could be interested in what you have to sell, and you're not communicating to them, fucking hell, go after those people first.
Yeah, and sort of
Getting irate now, George, thinking about it.
I enjoyed that, yeah. Double down on that. If every lead you get does become a sale, you're not pushing hard enough.
Oh, like that.
And I don't
so like how many no's you need to get a yes kind of thing.
Yeah, and like it will vary from business to business. You know, a funeral director, for example, a lot more leads become a sale than a holiday company. It's because of the need of the prospect. And you've got to look at, right, what am I doing within my business to generate leads, and how many of those leads then become sales, and how much drop off am I willing to have? Now, in a marketing company, you need a lot of leads per sale, a lot. In an accountancy practice, you need less leads per sale, but you'll still need a significant number of leads. A wedding dress shop, less, far less. It could be 1 in 2. And a cake shop, again, less again. And you got to look at the level of intent. You got to look at the commitment to purchase, so how much it cost, and you got to look at the level of nurture required. Now, when we looked at ours 7 years ago, I think it was 18 months from first contact to purchase. Now we've reduced that significantly, but it's still a long time. The nurture period in a marketing company is a long time. A cake shop, I've seen the cakes in the window, and then 30 seconds to purchase. It's a very different nurture period, and I think so many business owners think that once someone knows about them, it's kind of over to them. Like, oh, right, they know about me now, so if they choose to buy from me or not, that's their problem. You can take that approach, but it's an expensive way to do it.
It's a lovely approach. It'd be wonderful if everyone remembered you because you're lovely and you're good at what you do. But it's a noisy world. People are selfish. They've got bigger responsibilities now than ever. They're getting bombarded with more information in a day than older people getting bombarded in their entire lifetime. There's a lot of noise to cut through. So to look after these, to nurture them, you said, brilliant word. But before anyone starts shitting themselves, that doesn't mean cold calling. You know, if you've got a lead, that doesn't mean calling them up unsolicited, trying to sell them your shit. That's not what we mean.
Yeah, and there are still businesses out there where at some point you're going to have to speak to someone. Like, it's just the way it blows my mind, actually. So last year we were trying to arrange a big event, and I must have gone out to 20 venues of various sizes, all established businesses, and I think 2 got back in touch, and I'd already opened the door for them to contact me, and you're like, and I know what that will be. I would say that the owners of those businesses, or the board of directors, or whatever it would be mortified if they thought that inquiries were coming in that weren't being facilitated. But let's say 25% of those will be people don't want to pick up the phone. Then the other 25% will be lost amongst them doing less important tasks than generating business. Then the other 25% will be just ineptitude. So just like haven't even seen it come in.
I think that's quite flattering.
Gone into junk.
I think a high percentage would be just sheer ineptitude / laziness.
Well, that's what I was going to chuck the other 3 in, and then the 2 are the ones that did get back. And then of the 2 that did get back, 1 has continuously followed up, and like, you know, to be completely honest, they wanted like 130 grand for a 1-day event. Wasn't going to happen. And the other one followed up once and gave up. That's 20 businesses that I think when we priced it up, we were willing to spend 40 grand.
So shall we hit the listeners with the scary statistic about lead nurturing and the importance of the follow-up?
Does it have a number 5 in it?
Yeah, and a 0. So 50% of sales are made after the 5th follow-up.
Yeah.
How many times, dear listeners, do you follow up with your leads? Now, again, that doesn't mean cold calling unannounced. Now you've got, you got WhatsApp.
Do you say dear listeners?
Dear listeners. You've got, as the actress said, no, we've done that. Yeah. It's I watched Swans and Amazons with them the other night. I've gone all old school again. The range of communication tools you've got has never been fucking bigger. So it's not a case, well, the only choice I've got is to phone someone. Well, no, you can WhatsApp them, you can voice note them, you can SMS them, like send them a funny video note, whatever it might be. Or you might use a diary software like Calendly.
Yeah.
So you might want to speak to someone, you can send them a diary link so you don't call them unannounced. They know that you're going to be calling them at 2:00 tomorrow because that's a time that they have taken responsibility for choosing themselves.
Yeah, I think generally, unless it would be considered unprofessional, so like if you're a solicitor or an accountant, you need to think, how quickly can I transition this lead from being a lead in my database to being in my DMs? And by DMs, I would count Facebook Messenger, Instagram DMs, Snapchat if that's your world, TikTok, and WhatsApp in that space, because that is where people hang out. So that's where you need to talk to them. And like emails, I get 300 emails a day minimum. So guess what happens if you email me and it's not critical? So if it doesn't involve life or death or a code break bill getting paid, I might not see that email today. If you WhatsApp me, I'll see it. If you DM me, I'll see it.
Sending a quote or whatever and some fucking 10 paragraph sales email and then think you've done your job. That is not what we're talking about. Yeah, of course you could still send emails, but generally speaking, people never buy anything over emails. Like you say, there is some number, what the size of someone's average fucking inbox. It's something ridiculous, like 1,000 emails, isn't it? So if you can, with their permission, have their mobile number and you use it ethically, there are better ways of doing business, and there's no excuse not for it really to be happening, to get a relationship with these people. I mean, this is fucking crucial. We're talking here about leading with value.
Yeah.
What can I do to help? What's your number one challenge when it comes to increasing your return on ad spend? Whatever it might be, and leading with value, giving that free advice rather than just saying, buy my stuff, buy my stuff, buy my stuff.
So like at Codebreak, so we're practicing what we preach. The biggest thing for us in this whole lead game, so 5 years ago we were relatively traditional in our marketing approach. We'd get a lead in and we would email them as much value as we could until they took action. Over time we've progressed that, so now we push a documentary in front of people, various things. But right now, so we're playing the same game as we're telling you. The whole thing is to get in as many conversations as we possibly can where we give first. So we'll give it could be a free training, could be a guide, could be a webinar, whatever works in your space, we give first, but there is an opportunity there for us to follow up. And that conversational approach not only is easier, to be honest, it becomes more natural.
It's more fucking fun.
It's more fun, but it's easier to take the emotion out of it.
And I think an important point here is that, with us anyway, we love AI and automation. It's vital in any business marketing process. But the conversations we're having all involve a human. Now, it could get to the stage where you do need to use automation tools such as ManyChat or whatever. You might decide as you grow still not to use those automations. You might decide to employ someone purely to handle your DMs. That's your call. But sometimes it's not always a case of, right, I'm going to start DMing people, what automation can do that for me? It might be better to have a human involved, and you can be more personable.
Yeah, I think initially it has to. I think you've got to suss out what are the most common questions I get asked, what's the most common interaction, what's the reaction to this lead magnet that I've decided to offer, and get a feel for it. And you might even be splitting it in your team, so it could be all WhatsApp messages are going to Bob and all DMs are going to Jill, and we're going to literally split test what happens on each platform, and Bob and Jill have got a script, so they're following a very similar structure, but we just want to see it on an A/B test. Does WhatsApp outperform Meta Messenger, or does Snapchat inbox, like whatever it might be, and really getting into it, because like in our case, we deal with a lot of small to medium-sized business owners. They're owner-managed businesses. They're usually a little bit quirky, I would say. Like they're not trying to build a cardboard cutout accountancy practice, cardboard cutout bakery. It's very like they'll normally have something about them that's a bit different. And I would say the overriding factor we found is that when we, I mean cold call, but lukewarm call these people, we don't get anything. Nothing happens. The number one response we get is, "Oh, Codebreak, who's that?" Like, "Oh, you had a signed free book office? Oh, yeah, is that Andy bloke?" Yeah, that's it. And it's a very easy get out. Where you send them a DM and you say, "Oh, how did you get on with your free book?" And I know the three responses we get is like, "Oh, midway through, really enjoying it, thank you. I haven't got round to reading it yet," or it was great, thanks. "Oh, what was your favourite bit?" And off we go.
And yeah, and some people won't bite, and that's okay. I had one person this morning say to me, "Hey, I just want the free book, please." Absolutely fine. That's what I've promised. I promised you the book. So here's the link. Fill your boots. I've had a couple of people say, "Oh yeah, it's just some bot," and so I'll send a picture of me doing a funny selfie, so they know they're dealing with a real person. I say the scale your business is, that might not suit you. Again, it's about making sure you're true to your goals, but having some follow up process consistently. It's a fucking corny phrase to end this podcast on, but the fortune really is in the follow up, and you or someone in your business needs to make sure that the money you're spending on leads ultimately doesn't just fall out of the bottom of your bucket.
Whoosh. Whoosh. I love that. I love that. Like, I'll pick up on one point, and I promise we will finish. That whole, like, when that opportunity, when someone says, "Oh, is this just a bot?" Oh God, that is like, in terms of like, if you're a salesperson, that is such a great opportunity, because you can go back with a video note, you can go back with, you can like really like be like, "Oh, okay, well actually, have you had to look at chapter 3 yet?" Blah, 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 blah. Like, you can really play with that, and that's where the fun comes back into selling. That I think a lot of businesses and business owners are so afraid of rejection that nurturing leads never happens. It's like, I don't want to talk to my leads because they might say no. They might say yes.
I mean, well, possibility thinking. I mean, the sad fact is, what we're talking about, guess what? It does require effort, and that's just a bit too much for some people. Again, you might be able to outsource it. You might recruit specifically for this role, but that consistent level of effort is required if you want to make more money than you did last year.
Yeah.
Because it is harder to get hold of money, but the money is still flowing around the economy more slowly, so you just have to work a bit differently to get hold of it.
Yeah, and just look at the ways that you can shorten the time it takes from someone becoming a lead to them purchasing off you, or decided not to, and then gamify it for yourself, whether that's DMs, whether that's group chat, hot seat webinars, whatever it might be, to get people in and around you, and go from there.
Cool. So what do people need to do if they want to find out more about lead generation, lead nurturing, Joel?
Well, I'm glad you asked. They should visit They should visit codebreak.co.uk and book a discovery call, where you can apply for a discovery call on our website, be with me or you, and we'll get into the ins and outs of what you're doing with your leads. You'll get loads of free pointers on that call anyway, so worst case scenario, you'll walk away with some good ideas.
What lovely folk we are.
Sometimes.